Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I hope that you're well. Today is the 14th of September, and this is a follow-up video to yesterday's that I put on YouTube. So I will put this on YouTube as well, but it's for anybody that follows me on whatever social media platform that you're watching this on. The first thing that I'd like to say is a big thank you to the outpouring of love that you sent me yesterday. I truly felt it. I'm still feeling it. And I thank you for it. I can promise you that whatever I do going forward, and it will not be a rushed decision, you will be included in it. I am not intending to go off and be the hermit in the cave that I've been in previous lifetimes, I'm sure. I believe that part of my soul contract is to be seen and to be visible. And it's quite interesting because I am going to reference the Queen in today's video. Less about the arguments back and forth in terms of who she was, whether you liked her or not. I'm going to take us up to a much higher perspective and some messages which I feel need to come through. The first one is about being seen, actually, because if you think about the energy of sovereignty, which we're all being asked to step into as a collective, the sovereignty lies in all of us, not just in one person or one family or one level of society. Now, it doesn't mean that if you still have a representation of that one person or that one family, that we are making a mistake as a species. It just means at the moment that the people, for whatever reason, still need that. But there is another energy here at play, which is to do with highlighting your own sovereignty. And that links into your divine energy, which you have within you, your link to the divine, your own solar power, the solar plexus energy that you have within you, your own wisdom, your own light. But one of the things that the Queen always used to say about monarchy and about sovereignty, really, is that she felt it was very important to be seen. And if you think about the symbolism of that, being seen versus going off and hiding in a cave, I feel as though there are so many strands resulting from the energy around her death that the people that really want to see them have an opportunity to really be able to climb a few more rungs up the ladder of self-development. One of them is the energy of being seen, okay? Is it safe to be seen? Do you have protection around you so that you are seen? So if you think about, for example, the royal family, those of you that have seen the pictures coming out of London, they're all basically mingling in the crowd, with the crowd, you know, as close to the crowd as this. But of course, around that whole scenario is huge protection that you can't necessarily see. Sometimes you can see the guys in grey suits who are actually standing quite near them, but there is protection everywhere, on the roofs. You know, there's, I think I was just listening to the fact that the actual funeral, which will take place on Monday, the 19th, I think they said there's 168 heads of state going to be converging on London for this event, which sounds like a logistical nightmare. It sounds like a security nightmare, but I'm sure it will all pass off very peacefully, and because the protection will be in place. So if you now boil that down to your level and your sovereignty, what is your protection? Your protection should be, for example, there are many forms of protection. I've talked about it many times on my channel, but angelic light, Christ light, working with colour energy, etc. Do you trust and do you feel safe in the protection that you have? Because when you feel truly safe and truly held, you're okay about being seen. It's okay to be visible. It's okay to have a public face. So that's one strand that's coming through, being seen. With the Queen's passing, take that down to your life. Are you okay with being seen? Do you feel protected? Another strand that I'm feeling is the one of duty. Duty was a big one through her life. Up to 2 days before she passed, she was still doing her duty. She was signing in the new Prime Minister of the UK. She had a life of duty. So now take that into, and how difficult it must be to actually release the energy of duty when you pass as well. But actually what it is, it's almost like she's passed the baton on to the next person. Now think about duty in your life. Part of the energy of the video that I posted yesterday in terms of where I'm at is also like an inner cry coming up, linked into the energy of duty. How do I do my duty? How do I perform my soul contract whilst also staying sane, well, healthy, happy, joyful, all of that? So again, now take that down into your life. What type of duties do you have? What type of responsibilities do you have? Apologies for the noise, it's going on all the time here at the moment, so please just bear with it. It's quite important messages I want to bring through. So yeah, what duties do you have? What responsibilities do you have? Think of the energy of the 10 of Wands tarot card. Are you trying to push that cart uphill all on your own? Or are you actually utilizing the energy of other people to help you? Because none of us are truly completely alone. There's always somebody to call on for some sort of support. And if you feel as though there isn't, take a look at your own inner world and your own inner beliefs around asking for help. Some of us that have the biggest 10 of Wands type energy on our back are the type of people that find it very hard to delegate, to ask for help, to show vulnerability, to show weakness. But duty can only be done when we are fully supported. So we have the energy of duty and support, and we have the level of the energy of protection and being seen. So let's just write that down: duty and support, and protection and being seen. Okay. I've talked about this in a couple of videos now, but I'm still wanting to hammer the point home. I can't overstate how wobbly the Earth Star chakra energy is at this time. Now, a bit like when we incarnate into a physical body, you are always anchored into this incarnation and this planet until you leave, and then, you know, you float free. So the Earth herself is properly anchored and rooted. The Earth Star is still there, but it's as though there's a lot of leeway on that anchor at the moment. It's moving in quite a few different directions until it roots back down into a more secure place. And all of the focus at the moment is on London. Now, you might not be watching it, you might not be interested in it, but it doesn't matter actually, because you're still affected by the energy of what's happening here. Very poignant, very powerful, very potent energies right now in London. And it's all about releasing, grieving, letting go, saying goodbye to the old. And then after Monday and the funeral, it will be about welcoming in the new. So take note of your own groundedness at this time. And if you feel as though you are a bit floaty, a bit dizzy, a bit all over the place, a bit overwhelmed, make sure you're properly grounding in your Earth Star energy, okay? Within the sprays, I haven't got it to hand, but it's the Archangel Sandalphon Bronze Spray, helps with that, as do mantras, as do crystals, as do many other practices, okay? So check your Earth Star. The elements at the moment, I'm just overwhelmed by the beauty of them with regards to closing out this particular chapter and welcoming in the new. We saw the double rainbow over London as she passed, and no, that was not geo-engineered. I know some people are saying that. I do not believe that at all. I believe it was nature giving a blessing, as I said in a video a couple of days ago. So we've had the rainbow. Then in Scotland, in Edinburgh and in Balmoral over the last couple of days. The most beautiful sunshine. Scotland at its most beautiful, at its most lush, at its most welcoming, at its most open-hearted. Beautiful scenes coming out of Scotland over the last couple of days. And I just thought the city looked beautiful. Edinburgh looked beautiful. Thousands of people queuing to pay their respects, including through the night. But the elements again playing their part in it. The sunshine, the night. And then yesterday, as the Queen was put onto the plane, flown down to Northolt, which is near London, as the hearse drove away from the airport to Buckingham Palace, which is, you know, a few miles. It's, I don't know, I can't think how long it would take, maybe an hour or so. There were people lining the streets, putting flowers into the road like we saw when Princess Diana died. Cars stopping on the other side of the road just to pay their respects, flashing their lights, getting out of their cars, standing up. But more than anything, it was the elements, it was the energy of light, because dusk was falling and there was just this darkness. But yet the hearse, the actual coffin itself, lit up by the most extraordinary light. And actually, when she was also lying in state in Edinburgh, I don't know if any of you saw the pictures, the coffin was sort of there, and then there was the doors to the entrance of the place, but there was this pulsating light coming through the door. Did you see those photographs? It was really quite extraordinary. There's also a picture in the paper from Edinburgh, or I can't remember which particular day it was, but again, that the coffin is there and there's a crowd around it, or a gathering around it, and then there's just this one strand of light that comes right down onto the coffin. It's extraordinary the way the elements are just playing their part. But yesterday, as I say, going back to London in the rain and the dark, the rain amplified the rainbow prisms. So the TV cameras that were trying to report the news, and I think there were 6 million people, even before she landed in London, watching the plane as it was moving across the UK. You know, like Father Christmas, when Father Christmas and everybody tracks where he is. It crashed, actually. It was 6 million people just watching a picture of a plane just moving through the sky, which was quite extraordinary. But yeah, the rainbows, the prisms of the car lights, the entrance into Buckingham Palace, it was just extraordinary from a colour and light perspective. The contrast between the dark sky, the falling rain, which felt very soft, and just like this glare of the light, which was just pulsing everywhere. Even the newscaster, we were watching it, and then they went to the studio and the newscaster was talking about what was happening. And I mean, it wasn't a halo, but in fact, John said to me, he said, he looks like he's got a halo around his head, because the lights were just reflecting this like halo shape, because it was all about the lights. It was just beautiful. So today, I don't know what the weather's going to be doing in London, but just watch what the elements do over the next few days. They're definitely playing their part in all of this. And remember that we are the elements as well. And a bit like this top that I've got on today, in darker, more challenging times, remember to notice the light and the beauty and the colour in it as well. Today, I'm going to get on to some support that I feel we need at the moment for loss and grief, and also bringing in the energy of Jesus as well. Because as I say, even if you didn't like the Queen, even if you're not interested in it, there is a collective energy of grief and loss at the moment that if you wish to, you can tap into to release your stuff. But yeah, let's just talk a little bit about today, because I want to say something about numerology. She, in the coffin, leaves, the hearse leaves at 2:22 p.m. precisely from Buckingham Palace to Westminster, where she's going to be lying in state. I think there's about 1 million people going to be descending on London. They're talking about 5-mile queues just to basically pay people, so people can pay their respects and walk past it. It's going to be very, very powerful images coming out of London. Again, remember, London's the Earth Star chakra. It literally, the energy is just so powerful right now in terms of what's happening. The energy of transformation, phoenix, rebirth. You know, those of you that are tuned in and can really feel it, I mean, I just feel like I've got this huge lump in my throat. The emotions are all over the place, but I'm honouring how I'm feeling because it's all good. It all has to come up. It all has to come out. It's part of the ascension journey. This is almost like one of her last acts of service, actually. But yeah, 2:22 p.m. today, the hearse leaves Buckingham Palace. It goes to Westminster, and they're saying that William, Harry, and Prince Charles will be walking behind the hearse, and that's going to stir memories of Princess Diana and Harry and William walking behind the coffin. Then remember, this, we're not even at the funeral. This is only Wednesday. We've got another Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got another 4 days before, 5 full days actually, as I record this, before we even get to the funeral. So, you know, this is full on for those of us that are tapped into the energies and are releasing at this time. But I thought I'd have a quick look at what 222 means. Apologies for the noise again. And I'm just going to go to some notes that I've got here. I can't even remember where I got these from. I used to teach numerology, so apologies if I'm reading somebody else's words, because I might be, but I can't actually credit them to anybody, because it's just literally a piece of paper that I've kept for such a day as this. But what we've got here is 22 is linked into a relationship with God. And it says, here we let go the judgment that somehow God got the plan wrong. If we can forgive God, we forgive ourselves. The layers 22s need to work through are deep until they can let all judgment go and see only the perfection in every bit of creation. So this is talking about people who have a 22, master energy within them. But I'm taking this because it's a 222 energy today when she leaves the palace. It relates to the magenta path. It's about mastery, judgment, separation, creator, creative, and depth. I'll just repeat those words. 22 is an energy of mastery, judgment, separation, creator, creative, and depth. So maybe you can think about those individual qualities. 2 as an energy is also about polarity. And keywords are cooperation, balance, and harmony. Okay. I want to just, when I was searching through for the numerology stuff today, I found this image. Now, this image, I don't know if I've ever shown this before. This was actually one of the rejected paintings for the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery deck that many of you have got. It didn't make it into the final cut. Now, one of you did buy it, and hello, I remember who you are, who bought it, and I hope you've enjoyed it over the years. I always kept a copy of it because even though it didn't make the final cut, I still thought it was very beautiful. But today it feels even more poignant because I'm talking about these lights and the elements and the darkness, but the light shining through it all. And here we've got the Merkaba, and we've got just this faint outline of the angel of Metatron in his sort of shimmering gold robes. And maybe if I just put that up, you can just tune into what you are feeling linked into it. Because for some of us, these days of the past week and the coming week are very much about diving into the depths of our own pain, our own unhealed sadness and grief, but finding the light, finding the lessons, releasing the judgment around it, maybe forgiving. A beautiful energy to tap into at the moment if you're struggling with the energy of forgiveness would be the energy of Archangel Zadkiel. Zadkiel linked into forgiveness and transmutation. Again, I don't have it to hand, but we do have an Archangel Zadkiel spray, okay? It's a purple ray colour. And again, purple is the colour of royalty. It's always been linked into the energy of royalty, the colour purple. So again, remember also that you are royal, you are sovereign. So you might want to wrap yourself in purple. Indeed, another of our sprays that we sell is the Higher Self spray. And again, haven't got it quite to hand because this video is just a bit off the cuff, but it's purple because it's reminding you of your own higher self. I think it might be purple and gold, actually. Oh, got it. Oh, yes. No, that's not it. I've got my sprays all over the place, so I'm not sure where that one is. Let me just see if I can find it quickly. Yep. Higher self, purple and gold. Okay. That you are regal, that you are sovereign. Okay. I'd like to highlight this spray, the Bluebell Bridge spray for loss and grief. It's a very underrated spray. It's a very underused spray. And I guess it reflects the fact that many of us don't want to look at our loss, and we don't want to look at our grief, and we don't want to look back. But sometimes I said this recently, you can't take steps forward unless you've had a look back. And you've made sure that you've swept the path behind you, that you've cleansed the path behind you, that you've come to terms with the past. So I'm going to spray the Bluebell Bridge. It's got a very soft aroma. When we were making it, when it was first created a few years ago, the intention was a beautiful soft bouquet of flowers was how we wanted it to smell. I think it's got gardenia in it from memory as one of the key scents. So let me just spray the Bluebell Bridge. And this is for anybody that's needing it. Anyone that's got that lump in their throat like I have at the moment, or a pain in their heart, or anything that's just coming up to be released. It's just an energy of sadness, of cleansing, of letting go. So Bluebell Bridge, Archangel Metatron, Bluebell Bridge. He's showing me a bridge today, a physical bridge, and it looks a little bit like the ones that Monet used to paint, which were quite flowery, weren't they? And it's that type of colour palette as well that Monet used to use. And it's a bridge, and it's got petals of flowers all over the bridge. And he's saying that some of us are struggling with the energy of letting somebody go that we've loved in our life. So this is, again, it might actually be linked into the Queen, that you're struggling to let go of that energy of her. But also she's representative of the fact that sometimes we think we've grieved and we've got over something, but actually we haven't truly been able to let them go. And I'm just feeling there's an energy here of allowing that over the next few days. There's a beautiful window opened where many people are going to be doing that. And when many people do one thing at the same time, it helps. There's a power behind it. There's a power behind it. I'm really just smelling the perfume of this and the softness of this. It makes it doable. It makes it, I'm also seeing as though we're walking across this Bluebell Bridge together as a collective, but we're barefoot on the petals, and there's fragrancy beneath our feet, and it feels very much a rite of passage for many people at this time. And it's very beautiful. I'm going to pull a card at this point because it might seem a strange choice, but I felt, well, not really. Animals support people, don't they, when they're feeling sad and going through loss and grief. And this is a deck that's by Stephen Farmer, and that one's just flown out, okay? And it's the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides by Stephen Farmer. And the one that you, wow. The one that's fallen out, guys, you know, I just said about initiation. We've got rattlesnake, and it says the experiences that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. Okay, now this is really important as well, because an initiation so that you can fulfill your purpose as a healer. I've noticed, and I said this in my last video, the number of people in the spiritual community who went into hate and went into judgment when the Queen passed, and that's something now for them to work on if they've got the awareness that they've even noticed it. But if they've noticed it, part of being a healer is to be in a state of non-judgment and a state of unconditional love, because those are the energies that come through when you heal. Whatever healing modality it is that you do, those are the energies that come through you. The energies of the higher realms, which is to do with non-judgment, it's to do with compassion, it's to do with love. So whatever is arising right now, whatever your reaction was, however you're feeling, whatever's coming up for you, this is helping to cleanse so that you can, like the rattlesnake, be initiated into fulfilling your purpose, okay? So it's like you have to be a sacred witness to yourself and how you are responding, how you are feeling. Somebody said to me a couple of days ago, you know, what about us, people that are, you know, pissed off or irritated, you know, that and about things linked into the Queen and that they think are true. And my response to that would be, sit with your anger. That's your teacher right now. Sit with your anger. Sit with your judgment. Sit with your blame. Sit with the anger. What's it trying to teach you? Okay, channel it. Do something with it. Don't just let it fester and become toxic. Okay, so yeah, rattlesnake. Let's just see if there's anything in the book that I've missed about rattlesnake. I think it's about to get very noisy in a minute here. There's just another van pulled up outside. So I might have to, well, I've done 26 minutes, I've done quite well. It says the foundation for compassion is an awareness that suffering is a natural part of life, whether through the empathic appreciation of another being's pain or the experience of having suffered oneself, and which beings haven't at time felt the pain or sorrow that is an aspect of living on earth. The deeper you go into the soul of another, the more you can feel what they feel, yet paradoxically maintain a certain distance or objectivity. A true healer must heal from the heart, no matter what technological, logistical, physical or shamanic tools they use. It's exactly what I've just said. So these experiences that you're going through are all a preparation for you to open your heart to the suffering around you and to do your part in alleviating it. Yeah, so it's about initiation, healing, transformation, resurrection, death and rebirth. And that's why I just was getting so frustrated in the last week. It's passing now. I'm honouring, though, that I felt it, because it was like, can't you see what this opportunity is that we've got right now as a world to feel something, to heal something, to honour something? And again, whatever you felt about the Queen, you have to respect the vehicle, i.e. her, that has brought us to this place of extraordinary rebirth and a new door that wishes to open. But yeah, right now we're still in the middle of those 10 days of mourning here in the UK, and I am going to be honouring them myself. So from next week we will be changing track and looking at something else. But right now, anybody that is feeling that sense of loss and grief, whether it's for her, whether it's for somebody you know, whether it's for a situation in your life, the Bluebell Bridge is a great spray to use. The energy of the rattlesnake as well. Remembering the colours purple and your own higher self to guide you, that you're all sovereign. And I've also been talking a lot about the energies of Christ, haven't I, in the last few days? And yeah, there is also a beautiful spray, a Jesus spray. Let's just end with that one, I think. I mean, to be honest, I hadn't even sprayed it, and I could just hear, forgive them, Father, for they know what they do. They know not what they do. So when you're witnessing other people around you at the moment being unkind, judgmental, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It's about honouring everybody's path. It's about honouring the grief that is out there at the moment. And it's about being a sacred witness as history turns another page. Lots of love, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. I'll be back soon. Bye.